Painting like Winslow Homer. Last week you were given a sheet so that you could see some Homer paintings up close. I'd hoped you'd notice the depth, large boats in the front, smaller boats along the horizon line. None of his boats were placed exactly on the bottom of the paper. We were allowed to look into the picture plane for all of them. There were different types of shadows and different types of boats and times of day. Here's one that I've chosen to paint for you. First off, here's my drawing. Very few lines, simply showing me where the boat goes. I'm going to add the watercolor in small amounts, mixing my colors a little on the lid of my paint set. My paint does move quickly because it's mostly water. I'm really letting the white of the paper show through, especially in the sea, because it's in the water that Homer was letting the sunlight glint and show by the white of the paper. We have to really be cautious about the amount of water on our brush so that colors don't bleed too much together. In certain parts of the painting, we want that to happen, but in other parts, it's better to have good control and leave that little border of white so that you can separate colors. With this watercolor paper, it does dry rather quickly. I stopped putting black shadows in the water because I saw it was blending too much. I'm letting that area dry some more before coming back with the black lines to show the water waves. Within the sky, I've done the same thing, sometimes letting it dry a bit before coming back. Most of the time, I'm only using the very tip of my paintbrush in the paint and on the paper. I'm going back over the black shadow along the horizon line because it's better not to get as dark as you can to begin with. With watercolor, you let layers get dry. Do one layer at a time. You have to apply the paint in a way that you understand when it is wet, it will blend together. And when the paper is dry, the watercolor will stay put. The thickness of line depends on the amount of water and how hard you're pressing down on the paintbrush. Now as I add those shadows in, they stayed put. I'm now going to recreate this painting. Again, here's my drawing, just the horizon line and the boat. Everything else I'm getting by looking at the painting as I'm painting. Again, a lot of water is being used here, wet, so that the colors come together. I have left that little circle of white paper to place the sun in when the area around it gets dry. In this painting, there wasn't much white left in the ocean, so I'm getting that underpainting of the orange sunset reflecting in the water. Again, the paper does dry very quickly. I'm showing you this in a speeded up manner, but it took me maybe 10 minutes to paint. I also used my hand there to really help dry the paper a little faster. Control of the amount of water is going to be the secret today. Never use your fingers to pull down from the hair of the brush. Remember, that pulls the hair out. Alright, you're going to see a grade rubric at the end of class today. Take a good look at it. Go over it. Good luck.